Alright guys, welcome to another video. Today I'm going to show you guys how I converted, or not converted, but I turned this right here, my daily driver, which we owned since 2009, brand new. It was brand new back then at least. Obviously this car doesn't look too beat up here, but this was about 5 years ago, and within the last 5 years that paint really took a turn. And we had a few dents that I had to take care of as well. It needed some body work. This is the rear quarter panel. This was an accident that happened actually the first year that we owned this car. And this is another accident right here. Actually, this I did myself. I was backing up of something. I can't remember what was in the way, and I sideswiped it. And so I just pretty much did the body work to both sides. I think I had like another dent on the like rocker panel, but I didn't care for it because I was gonna put side skirts. So, anyways, took care of this body work. I used some really cheap products on for as far as like the body work and primer and all that. The only thing that I really went extensively was on the clear coat. I wanted to really see this glamour clear work, this high solids clear. But anyways, so all the prep work again, sanded everything down. I believe I used a 220 and I was able to get away with 220 because I'm doing a single stage and then clear over single stage. So I was gonna have enough material on there, guys. I wasn't really worried about any sand scratches, sand marks, any pigtails, anything like that. I was gonna get really covered. So here we are again, sanding the whole thing down completely, 220, 320, depending what area it was. I like to use the 320. I don't necessarily like to use a 220, but because the clear was oxidated really bad in some areas, I will hit it with a 220. So now here I have it in my inflatable spray booth. If you guys haven't seen my review on that, go ahead and check it out. Got everything masked up. I tried to remove as much trim as I could, even some like window moldings and stuff like that. Started using my so this is interesting because I actually used a bunch of new guns on this whole project, like guns that I've never used before that I'm like not even aware of the settings. This right here is the R500 from, I believe actually this is not even the Spray It brand. This is a identical version of Spray It, which I believe is the same manufacturer. But anyways, I used this one to lay down the primer sealer. At first, I was having a hard time actually laying down the primer sealer. I tried using two different spray guns, and both of them were giving me difficulties. Might have been just because poor cleaning that I did. So here I laid down the sealer, pretty much the whole entire car. I really wasn't a fan of this sealer. Now, the sealer is like a house brand from a certain I'm sorry, a certain company nearby. I don't know. Maybe I just I, to me at least, I don't believe that it was sprayer friendly, but nevertheless, it doesn't matter. Like I said, this was a budget paint job. I wasn't really trying to go too crazy. It wasn't also like a super budget paint job like a rustoleum. No, I obviously try to use, you know, the proper ingredients for this, proper materials. I'm sorry, but okay. So here I am spraying my single stage, which is from, I believe, Auto. You know what? I'll just put it on the description. I don't want to say the wrong name, but I got it off of eBay. The guy's totally cool. Single stage jet black. This thing actually sprays actually pretty well, pretty decent. Especially with this LVOP gun. If you guys notice, there's very minimal overspray, so that was great. Especially with these inflatable spray booths that have poor ventilation. As you can see right there, I have my shop fan going, and that helps a lot. Although it's, if it was an HVOP, man, this thing it gets crazy stuffed in there. But anyways, laying down the first space of single stage, and I'm doing like a medium wet. Then I'm gonna top it off with two wet coats. I'm doing three complete wet. I'm sorry, three coats, one medium wet, two wet, and yeah, here I am pretty much just getting the roof now. Let's see. Again, I'm using a lot of material in this vehicle. Was an experiment for me. I've sprayed clear coat over single stage before without scuffing it prior to laying the clear. That was also like an experiment, and I gotta say I love the results that came out of that. The gloss was crazy, crazy enhanced. I love the way it looked, but I've never sprayed the clear over scuffed down single stage. Everybody says it's the exact same thing, that you get the exact same results, but Again, just because I'm the type that I don't like to listen to people, I like to just find out on my own. I'm gonna take my chances. Here I laid down. I think this might have been the last coat. I'm not sure, but as you can see, the reflection's pretty strong. It's really clean. I did get a lot of texture. Again, I'm not familiar with these gun settings, so I was actually tampering with the settings quite a lot to get this LVOP going. I'm also not used to shooting LVOP at all, so this was completely, totally new to me. But nonetheless, I mean, the reflection is really good. Looks like glass. Of course, there's gonna be some texture. As you can see, that's the ceiling of my inflatable booth. This is my bumper. I believe this is actually my third and last coat, and it looks really, really good, really, really wet. I was absolutely happy with it, the way that it came out. Definitely sprayed a lot of material on just about every panel that I could. I don't even think I can't remember if I used a gallon or two, to be honest. I want to say that I used, no, you know what? It was barely a gallon that that was enough for the whole car, for the bumpers, actually, for the bumpers and the I'm sorry, the side skirts, and I forgot what other panels. I actually had to use another jet black, different brand that I had laying around. Thank God I still have some of that. So this whole project took more than 1 gallon of single stage because, again, I did 3 coats of single stage. So now here I am scuffing down the entire car all over again. Again, this is time consuming, tedious work. I could have just shot it with clear over it, but again, I wanted to find out what the difference was. You know what I mean? Because I'm not one to talk out of my butt. I like to know exactly, what, if I speak on something, I actually like to know from experience. So I am going to be hitting this. I think I started hitting this with 600, knocking down all the trash, any debris that got on, obviously on the wet paint while it was curing, while it was drying, and obviously taking down some of the texture. Definitely want to take some of the texture down so I have a flatter surface when I'm applying the clear over it. And which, by the way, I'm actually applying a metallic. So I'm gonna be doing a metallic. I'm kind of gonna be doing something kind of like a tri coat, I guess you can say, because I'm gonna be misting on the metallic, and then I'm gonna be shooting wet clear over that metallic. So I guess it's kind of like a 3 stage. Anyways, here's the purple and black metallic that I use. I also never shot black metallic before. And I was actually curious what black metallic looks like on black. I thought maybe it'll enhance it, make it look, I don't know, some kind of crazy cool, looking color. But this is the black metallic, as you can see, and it doesn't actually even look black. It looks more kind of like a bunch of little specks of like an ashy gray, something in that kind of manner. And anyways, so remember, when you guys are spraying metallic and you're misting it on, you're actually getting rid of your flat surface. So you're gonna get texture. Right here, I'm using a different gun. Matter of fact, this is a knockoff, I believe, of okay, I can't remember right now, but I'll mention it a little bit later. And also was spraying. I was messing with the settings. I love the way it sprayed because it actually sprays really evenly, effortlessly, and for being a knockoff, man, this thing is actually really well built. The Chinese manufacturers, they're really catching on. Look at that fan. The fan is freaking amazing. Okay, so it's actually a knockoff of a DeBell Bliss. I think it's supposed to be a DV1 knockoff. And again, I've never even shot a real DV1, so I couldn't even mimic the settings. I actually didn't even look up the settings till after I painted the whole car. So stupid of me, should have done that before. I was actually running this at a really high pressure. I believe I was like at 28. And after I read what most people thought was the better settings for this, people were saying like 22, 20, 18. Like some people were saying some really, really low settings. So I was like, damn, it's no wonder I got so much texture, because yeah, I did. I ended up getting a lot of texture once I laid this thing down. But again, the metallic obviously didn't help. So I shot wet on this whole entire car, and I did some high solids clear from our local supply store. Great clear. Love this clear. This clear is great. It has a great reputation around here. So I believe I did three complete wet coats on the whole thing. I really, man, I milked this thing on there. It looked like honey. But I wanted that much because I wanted to correct, in case like obviously the texture, trash, whatever I might have messed up on. I wanted to make sure that I had a good amount of material, you know, on my surface, and that I could correct with no problem. Here, here I sprayed with a different gun, which I didn't catch myself recording, but this is actually a knockoff SATA RP Jet 5500, I believe, or 5000, something like that. Oh, here it is. Look at, check this out. Chinese Rep 1.3 500B. This thing actually sprayed awesome, man. I see, but here's the thing though. I actually looked up the settings for this spray right here before spraying, and of course I should have done that before. I would have actually cut down a lot of work if I sprayed with the right settings with that knockoff DV1. I'm pretty sure, because these, I'm telling you, these sprayers are, I mean, I work with knockoff tattoo machines, knockoff clippers. Like, I'm, you know, if you guys don't already know, I'm a very versatile person. I'm a jack of all trades, or I'm sorry, a jack of all skills. And you know, Chinese manufacturers are getting on point with all these things when they copy the crap out of these machines and or tools, whatever. But nonetheless, this is it, laying down clear. Freaking looks great. I definitely want to spray with this gun again. I only did smaller panels because that's the, you know, that's the only opportunity I had. So here it is after it's dried, after I believe was like 2 days. So as you can see, this is so I actually messed up. I totally messed up because I sprayed the other panels separately from the vehicle, and I sprayed it like weeks apart. I totally got the flake amount wrong. So when you look at these panels, it's totally way more bedazzled and more purple than the rest of the car. But whatever, it's cool. I'm not tripping. I'm not worried about it. It's my own personal vehicle. It's a daily driver, and we just obviously gonna make it look better than what it was before. Now, I didn't forget to get everything else. I mean, we're giving this whole thing a facelift. We're giving it kind of like a restoration, you know. So I went ahead and hit everything, all the black trim. I went ahead and hit it with the Plasti Dip, because I'm not a big fan of just using a flat and black or flat black. Later on, it kind of changes colors, and I know Plasti Dip, it actually it holds up pretty well. Now, previously you saw those videos of my headlamps. I actually ended up upgrading headlamps as well to some clear housing headlamps with like the aluminum-ish look or whatever. And again, spraying all the black stuff, even the windshield wipers. I sprayed all the inserts, the black inserts on the bumper. So you know, the mesh, the grill, the fog light inserts, whatever you want to refer to them as. So here it is with everything bolted on. My new headlights, you know, the trim being painted. The hood I totally messed up on. I freaking did this stupid rookie mistake, but oh well. I mean, you live and learn. Um, I ended up, when I was spraying the last coat of clear on the hood, I started on the hood, correct, and I ended up putting a whole cup of pure clear with no reducer, nothing like that, or I'm sorry, no hardener, and I just ended up having to let it dry. Thank God it was just the hood itself. It didn't get anywhere else but the hood. Anyways, right here I'm pretty much pointing out all my imperfections, the texture. I had a lot of runs, different areas. Again, look, there's a lot of texture. Oh, there goes the reaction. If you guys saw that on the hood of the clear coat. So there are the purple flakes, the black flakes. It looks pretty cool. I like it. I mean, if I could go back, I wouldn't use the purple flake. I just, it makes it actually look sometimes like it's kind of like the dirt. I mean, there's like dirt or debris on the black paint. This is what it looks like from far. This is what it looks like after it's been curing. Again, a lot of texture. Gloss is amazing, but just too much texture for me. I wish again that I had done my homework on the settings on the DV1. As you can see right there, you can see obviously the reflection, but you can see a lot of texture. And of course, I addressed that. I fixed that. We went ahead and fixed that. But again, I would have saved myself a lot more trouble, because if I'm trying to achieve, again, I'm a novice painter, right? So I'm trying to get to the point where I could pretty much achieve a finish without having to do much wet sand and buff. Like, I mean, extensive wet sand and buff, because that's normally what I end up having to do anyways. But, you know, we'll get there. It also doesn't help that I like to experiment with different freaking spray guns, and I never get adjusted to one, you know what I mean, other than my LPH 400, which that thing is like user friendly, and man, any dummy can spray with that thing and lay some pretty decent finished clear with that. So again, this is after. So this, you guys are looking right now at the gloss over, at clear coat over single stage. I honestly think that the spraying clear over a single stage is much better when you shoot without scuffing it. Of course, there's a window period. This TDS or DTS or whatever the technical data sheet, it did not specify if you could shoot clear coat within the window. I called the person that sold it to me, but he also was not aware, and that's another reason actually why I didn't spray clear over this paint while within whatever window margin, because I did not know if I was gonna have a serious reaction. Okay, so right here I'm actually pointing out again the hood. You see all that cloudiness right there. That was from me spraying nothing but clear on top of clear that was already mixed with hardener. So that was the reaction I had, as a bunch of solvent pop or whatever. I'm assuming that's solvent pop. So I ended up having to scuff down the hood, and to this day I haven't even got the chance to re-clear it again. I just left it as is because again it was I believe I took like 2 weeks doing this whole job, maybe even more. I can't remember, but from start to finish, prepping body work to you know, doing the wet sand and buff and whatnot. So a lot of work, extensive work. It was supposed to be a quick budget job, but me being so freaking OCD and you know, uh, perfectionist, I guess you could say. That's what everybody says. I don't think I'm a perfectionist, just because I don't think my work doesn't come out so perfect. Sad face. But whatever. It is what it is. I try to fix everything as much as I can. I like my work to speak for itself. And anyway, so this is after I've already cut it down. I started with 1,500, then I went to 2,000, then 25, then 3,000, and I finished with 3,000. And then I started doing a medium foam. I actually jumped around from medium foam pads, or I'm sorry, I started with wool pads, with a heavy cutting wool pad with heavy cutting McGuire's. I think is 101 or 105 or 100, something like that, whatever their heavy compound is. That's what I started with. And then I worked with, again, different compounds, different buffing pads and such and such. And I believe this is like pretty much me doing the last finishes to it. Now I didn't completely take off all the texture. I did not sand this thing down to perfection. I did not block this either. I did this with the DA wet sand DA. I did it in patterns to where I cut it most of it down. You can still see some waviness in the paint, but again, for being my daily driver, I am not really too crazy about having to make this a perfect show quality show car vehicle. So anyways, now let me show you guys what the final product looks like. Since I finished this vehicle, I haven't done anything else to it, but here, check it out. Okay, so here you guys have it. This is what it looks like after everything was said and done. I still need to put a lot of like the weather stripping back on. I also bought brand new weather stripping, etc. I ended up using a front lip. As you guys could tell, that does not belong there. And if you guys could actually recognize those wheels, those don't belong there either. So again, I said this was going to be a budget build. I used wheels from a different vehicle that's, newer model, and I had to use adapters to make it fit, but I personally think it looks great. I wasn't going to pay over $1,000 for stock Honda wheels. I actually got these for a killer deal for $200. This is what the paint looks like after. Again, wet sand, buff, everything. Again, it looks like all those specs. It looks like it's like rainwater that just stayed there, and it kind of like left marks. No, that's literally the black flake, guys. It's crazy, but I mean, again, it's already there. What can I do? It still looks really, really glossy. It looks really, really clean. Love it. Love the front end, how it looks. That front lip, like I was saying, is from a same year Honda Civic, but it's from, I believe, a different model. I think it's a DX. But I cut it out, made that sucker fit. And again, here are the wheels, brand new tires as well. I'll wrap these brand new tires on them. If you guys could guess what wheels this come from, comment down below. I'm not gonna say anything. I actually love the way they look, and I really don't even want to share the idea, because you guys are gonna go and buy these. Everyone's gonna rip it off. I actually want to remove the black from those wheels and just make it all pretty much polished, and I think it looked like a killer look with all polished wheels of that model. And I also went ahead and detailed the inside as best as I could. Didn't get too much time, but anyways, guys, so if you guys like this video, make sure you guys like, subscribe, give it a thumbs up, leave some comments, ask me some questions. If you guys don't like this look, if you guys don't like the way it looks, hey, whatever, to each his own. But go ahead, tell me why doesn't this look good? I'd like to know, just for whatever sakes of it. But anyways, thanks for watching. Again, I got some more content coming out. Stay tuned. Don't go anywhere, guys. Let's get active with the channel. Have a good day.